I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get to the No Half Step Hockey covered first, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're good and educated about the show, that's when you click on that merchandise tab. It's going to take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck are all still available in our online store, whether that is socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, or 88 different items, something like that in our online store. The best way to say it is that we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this operation, so here's how you can support the Renegades of Puck. Please give us a like, a subscription, whatever it is, a follow on the following platforms. We are on X. We are also on Threads. We are on, we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're also on, what's that one called? TikTok. We're on all these different platforms. So give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscription. Jump on the trenches with the Renegades of Puck on social media today. When it comes to YouTube, you can find the Renegades of Puck by just searching us out and give a subscription to the page right there. You'll find the latest episodes of Renegades of Puck TV. You'll find all of our recaps, all of our previews, all of our different interview segments, and so much more right there on our Renegades of Puck YouTube channel. Thank you so much to all of our great Renegades out there who have supported that channel as we continue building that out. When it comes to the audio podcast, thanks to the Full Press NHL Network and the Full Press Predators podcast, this show has gone from local to global. And yes, we are very close to 10 million all-time downloads and replays for the show. And we are closing out the month of February incredibly strong. Thank you so much to everybody who's checked out the show, whether that's been on Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, or whatever it is that's your preferred podcast platform, wherever it is you're listening to the Renegades of Puck podcast. We sure do appreciate you. It means a hell of a lot to everybody here at the show. So thank you so much. Nelson, Venmo, that is how you can get involved with the show financially. If you'd like to make a donation, just search Renegades fucking Venmo or scan the QR code that's currently on your screen right now. Thanks to generous Renegades just like you watching and listening out there, we've been able to create, well, everything. So thank you. Stick taps, love, respect. We sure do appreciate it. Every dollar goes a long way to helping this independent hockey operation. And while it was very warm for a couple of days, it's now suddenly very cold and very windy and suddenly a return to winter weather. So back on mission for building that temperature control system, some sort of HVAC system. We are looking into the possibilities of what we can do out here. We don't want to turn it into a server room or anything like that, but we do need to come up with some sort of way to help keep the climate under better control, because that is going to prolong the life of our equipment and our gear. We're getting a lot of advice and a lot of consultation on these things right now. We're trying to make the upgrades as feasible as possible and also as efficient as possible. Thank you so much. I appreciate every one of you. So let's get to No Half Step in Hockey over already. It's time for operation number 878. That's right. It is time for show number 878. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division after 60 games skated. Only 22 games left on the season. 33-25-2 is the Nashville Predators record. They have 68 points on home ice, which is where the Nashville Predators' next game will take place. They have a record of 15-15-0. 18 wins on the road is tied for the most in division with the Dallas Stars. The rest of the road record is 18-10-2. The Preds have scored 188 goals in the season. They've given up 188 goals in the season. That means they have a goal differential of even. The Nashville Predators' next opponent is the Minnesota Wild, so they're also in the Central Division. So let's give you the updated Central Division standings, and we'll focus down on the Minnesota Wild and the Nashville Predators matchup. We also need to get you the wild card standings update because we do have some interesting developments in the wild card situation. The Winnipeg Jets are now in first place. The three-team weave will continue throughout the rest of the season. I've told you this many, many times, and I'll continue using that phrasing as we go because it is the most honest assessment of what's happening at the top of the Central Division now. The Dallas Stars have been in first for a couple of days. Now the Winnipeg Jets are in first place. The Colorado Avalanche are only 2 points behind first place. So it's going to continue. They're going to keep doing that thing. So Winnipeg in first at 79 points. Dallas in second at 79 points. The Colorado Avalanche in third place at 77 points. So first to third separated by 2 points. Then you'll find the wild card pack as we're starting to label it. The Nashville Predators are right there at 68 points. The St. Louis Blues have fallen 6 points now behind the Nashville Predators. Minnesota Wild also 6 points behind the Nashville Predators in 6th place. Then we'll find the two teams that are now out of it. The Arizona Coyotes season, well, it has actually fallen completely off of a cliff, just like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. They are now at 51 points still, and the losing just goes on and on and on. It's just the worst possible month of February for the Arizona Coyotes. Blackhawks in last place in the Central Division at 35 points. Now, the wild card update, the LA Kings still wild card 1, 68 points, but the Nashville Predators are tied in points. They occupy wild card 2 due to tiebreakers, but the Nashville Predators at 68 points, the same as the LA Kings. That's wild card 1 and 2. On the outside looking in, the Calgary Flames are now the first team on the outside looking in, jumping over the St. Louis Blues. Calgary's at 63 points. St. Louis is at 62. Looks realistically like we have about a 6-team pool going for the wild card right now, and Calgary is jumping right back in it. For a while, Pacific Division teams were really pushing in the wild card race, and then the Central Division kind of rebounded and started pushing in the race. It's going to continue moving back and forth like that throughout the season. Now, listen, I mentioned the Minnesota Wild once or twice. Let's talk about them for a moment. After 59 games skated, they are 28, 25, and 6. They're 62 points, is 6 points behind the Nashville Predators in 6th place in the Central Division. On the road, the Minnesota Wild are 14, 13, and 2. They've scored 188 goals in the season, the same exact number as Nashville Predators. They've given up 196, though. They have a goal differential of -8. For the Minnesota Wild in their most recent stretch of 5, go back to February 19th, it was a 10-7 win versus the Vancouver Canucks. That game was absolutely wild, absolutely just insane. Yes, wild, I get it. 219, 10-7 win versus Vancouver. The next night on the 20th, a 6-3 loss at the Winnipeg Jets. On the 23rd of February, a 4-2 win at the Edmonton Oilers. On the 24th of February, 5-2 win at the Seattle Kraken. On the 27th of February, the most recent game, a 3-2 loss versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, for the Nashville Predators, this is the third of 4 regular season meetings between these two teams. They met all the way back on November the 30th the first time, and the Nashville Predators would really like to forget this one, but I'm going to remind everyone of this and hope that it seeps into the Nashville Predators consciousness, because they need to remember that they got absolutely blown out on home ice back on November the 30th, 6-1 in favor of the Minnesota Wild. It was Saros getting pulled early in that one, 11-15. He takes the loss. Lankinen came in relief, went 14 out of 16. Parsonen scored the only goal for the Nashville Predators. That's not possible to happen in this game. Gustafsson, 26 out of 27 for the win for Minnesota, and Dewar just torched the Preds in that game. 3 goals and 1 assist for 4 total points. Now, these two teams would meet again in January on the 25th. This would be the first time the Preds would be in Minnesota this season. Saros would go 22 out of 24 and get the victory. Forsberg, Kariusi picked up the goals for the Predators. Gustafsson and net again for Minnesota, 26 out of 29. Takes the loss this time. Eriksson, Ek, and Boldy score the goals for Minnesota. These two teams will meet a 4th time this season, being Central Division rivals. That will take place on March 10th when the Preds will be in Minnesota for the 2nd and final time this year. So far, the regular season series for the Nashville Predators, 1-1. Preds picked up 2 out of 4 points, but they have been outscored 8-4 against the Minnesota Wild, 1 game at each building. Now, for the Preds, once they wrap up this game against Minnesota, the homestand continues. Saturday versus Colorado, Tuesday versus Montreal, Thursday versus Buffalo is how the next week of the schedule shapes up for the Nashville Predators. Back on the road after the 5-game homestand. First game of the road trip on the 9th of March in Columbus, and then on the 10th of March in Minnesota. That will be the final regular season meeting between the Nashville Predators and Minnesota Wild, happening on March the 10th. Now, let's get into this particular matchup. Let's talk about the NHL rankings and the numbers and the stats for both of these teams, then the individual stats of the goaltending matchup. Goals for Minnesota, 3.14 is 15th in the NHL, while the Predators 3.10 is 17th in the National Hockey League. In the goals against category, Minnesota giving up 3.29 per game is 22nd overall. The Nashville Predators giving up 3.13 per game. That is 17th overall. In the shots for category, Nashville Predators 13th in the league, 31.1 per game on net. Minnesota 30.1 on net per game, 21st in the league. In the shots against category, Minnesota's 20th overall in the NHL, 30.4 on net per game. In the shots against category, the Nashville Predators are giving up 30.3 per game. That is 19th. Very close in a lot of these different metrics right here. When it comes to the special teams, it is the Minnesota Wild with the much better power play. 22.2% is their conversion rate. 13th overall in the league. 46 out of 207 opportunities The Nashville Predators 18.8% conversion rate is 21st in the league, 39 out of 208 opportunities. When it comes to the penalty kill, the Nashville Predators are ahead in this statistical metric. 75.5% is their kill rate, 27th overall in the league, 46 power play goals against. That's a pretty big number, but not as big as 51 power play goals against. That's how many Minnesota have given up. They have a kill rate of 74.6%. They are 29th overall in the NHL. When it comes to every team in the NHL, high-skilled individuals all across the rosters. So we like to talk about the top 5 scorers for each team. Let's talk about the visiting Minnesota Wild. Kaprizov always does good against the Nashville Predators. His 26 goals and 37 assists for 63 points leads the Minnesota Wild. Eriksson Ek also already mentioned him as scoring against the Predators this season. 28 goals on the season. Impressive season. 26 assists for 54 points. Matt Zuccarello, 11 and 39 for 50. Usually does quite well against the Nashville Predators. Boldy's got a goal against the Preds this year. 23 goals overall in the season. 24 assists. 47 points. And Faber, 4 and 34. On the Nashville Predators side of things, some movement in the numbers here. Philip Forsberg still leads the team with goals. 28, assists 32, points 60. Roman Josi, though, is hot on the heels of the Forsberg skates, 14 and 43. 457. O'Reilly, 20 goals, 29 assists for 49 points. Gus Nyquist, 16 goals and 33 assists for 49 points, now tying O'Reilly at third on the team. And Tommy Novak, fifth on the team, scoring 12 goals, 20 assists for 32 points. Gustafsson 1-1 against the Nashville Predators this season. 16, 14, and 3 on the season. 8.96 save percentage of 3.23 goals against average. UC Saros 1-1 against the Minnesota Wild this season. A overall season record of 24, 21, and 2, and 9.05 save percentage. 2.91 goals against average with 2 shutouts on the year. It's another important game for the Nashville Predators. The Minnesota Wild are still hovering close enough in this wild card race to be very effective down the stretch. So these points are of critical importance to the Nashville Predators on home ice. They've got the record back to 500. Need to continue trending that upwards in a good direction. Winners of 6 in a row. The Nashville Predators look to keep rolling on here against the Minnesota Wild before another huge Central Division matchup on Saturday versus the Colorado Avalanche. For the Nashville Predators, take care of business. Last time Minnesota came to Bridgestone Arena, a 6-1 drubbing. That cannot happen again. The Nashville Predators need to have a much better effort than they did the last time they played the Minnesota Wild here in Nashville. That's got you all set up for the Preds and the Wild on Thursday night. We've got the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We got to go back to the first game of the homestand. It was against the Ottawa Senators. We'll get to it right after this break, right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to February the 27th of the year 2024 when the Nashville Predators were finally back home in Nashville to face off against the Ottawa Senators, close out the regular season meeting against the Sens. Head coach Andrew Burnett deploys his lines and defensive combinations in the following way, and this should sound familiar. 6th game in a row. Forsberg, O'Reilly, Nyquist, Trennan, Sissons, and Glass. Jankowski, Novak, Evangelista, Smith, McCarron, and Sherwood. Josi and Fabro, McDonough, and Shen, Luzon, and Carey make up your defense pairs. UC Saros gets the start in net. Now, for the Nashville Predators, last time they were on home ice, things didn't go so well. So let's start 13 seconds in, already improving. Korpisalo was save on McCarron, plus the follow-up rebound opportunity by McCarron, first shot on goal of the game. This time it only took the Nashville Predators 13 seconds to do so. 28 seconds into the game, the Nashville Predators get another shot on goal. Korpisalo comes up with a save on Forsberg. 2:06, Korpisalo a save on Shen. The Preds dominating early. 3:22 at the first period. Smith comes up with his 8th goal of the season, deflection of McCarron's shot. That gets the Nashville Predators on the board, leading the Ottawa Senators 1-0 on home ice. 3:45 into the first period. It's Korpisalo coming up with a save on Forsberg at the 4:12 mark of the first period. We find our first special teams play of the game as Chychrun is off to the box at 2 minutes for tripping. That's going to give the Nashville Predators first power play of the game. Already buzzing, already dominating, and that's when the captain, Roman Josi, unleashes the heavy shot from straight away. His 13th goal of the season gives the Nashville Predators a power play goal and a 2-0 lead on home ice. 6:04 in the first period. UC Saros coming with a save on Pinto. That's the first shot on goal of the game for the Ottawa Senators. So before the Sens could even pick up a shot on goal, the Preds have a 2-0 lead and have already had a power play at the 8:04 mark of the first period. UC Saros coming with a save on Vladimir Tarasenko at the 8:20 mark of the first period. It's McCarron versus Kostelic, 5 minutes each for fighting. Really not much of a fight, more of a wrestling match that lasted a few seconds. 8:50 into this first period. It's Sissons off the box twins for tripping. This is going to give the Senators their first opportunity to go on the power play, and it's UC Saros coming with the save on Stützle plus the rebound follow-up. That would be it for the Ottawa Senators on their power plays. The National Players PK would be solid. 11:08 of the first period. It's Saros coming with a save on Chikrin at the 11:31 mark of the first period. Saros comes with a save on Chikrin again. This time a follow-up by Tkachuk on the rebound opportunity. We go to the 14:58 mark now of the period, and Saros comes with a save on Hamonic. 15:28. Saros another save on Shabbat. 17:07. Saros a save on Pinto, and at 17:28 with the Ottawa Senators taking over control of the most recent portion of the game. Sherwood is off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping. That's going to put the Sens on the power play, and it's going to be Batherson coming up with his 20th goal of the season. He unloaded with the heavy shot, little angle to it, but mostly it was the power of this shot and the location. Accuracy always counts. Nashville now leads 2-1 here in this first period. 19:40 the first period. UC Saros comes with a save on Joseph, and we close out the first period where the National Predators at one point in time were out shooting Ottawa 7-1, are now being outshot by the Senators 14-8. We go into the second period, and at 26 seconds in, it's UC Saros coming with a save on Pinto. 31 seconds in, Saros comes with a save on Sanderson. So the Nashville Predators are already back on their heels, just like they were at the end of the first period. Now to begin the second period, 2:39 into the second period, Saros coming with a save on Batherson off of the rush. Good scoring opportunity for the Sens right there. 4:03 of the second period, Saros comes with a save on Pinto. 5:08, Korpisalo comes with a save on Luzon. The first shot on goal. That's the first time you've heard Korpisalo's name in nearly 20 minutes of gameplay. Since the Roman Josi goal, that's the first time the Nashville Predators have generated a shot on goal that was all the way back during the power play that started at 4:12 of the first period. We are now at 5:08 of the second. Now we're at 6:20 of the second period. It's Saros coming with another save on Pinto at the 7:10 mark of the second. It's Korpisalo coming with a save on Carrier's deflection at close range. At the 8:24 mark, Kostelik's off to the box and very unhappy about that. 2 minutes for tripping. Jonas Korpisalo comes up with a save on Philip Forsberg. Then Korpisalo comes up with another save on Glass, but the Nashville Predators power play unable to convert at this time. At the 10:51 mark of the second, just past the halfway point of this game, it's Korpisalo coming with a save on Luke Evangelista. The Nashville Predators have gotten their skates back under them, not quite to the dominance level that they were in the first period, but they are getting their game back under them right here. 11:39 of the second, Saros with a save on Batherson. 13:11, Korpisalo a save on Luke Evangelista. At the 14:39 mark of the second period, it's Korpisalo coming up with a save on Sherwood. The bottom six of the Nashville Predators were coming through all night long with good scoring opportunities and good offensive zone time. We go to the back of the sheet and we find 14:51 into the second period. It's UC Saros coming up with a save on Vladimir Tarasenko at the 16:41 mark. The second, Saros comes up with a save on Stützle at 18:30 after a long back and forth with not a lot happening. The captain, Roman Josi, scores his 14th goal of the season, his second goal of the game. Out in the neutral zone, he kicked the puck to the stick, and he turned the Jets on as a defender fell down, and he picks the top corner at close range. The captain, Roman Josi, has incredibly impressive high skill, and it was on display on this particular offensive play right here. Josi has 2 in this game. The Nashville Predators have 3. The Ottawa Senators have 1. That means the Nashville Predators lead this game 3-1 now, and that was a huge goal as the Ottawa Senators were certainly back in this game. 18:55 of the second, Korpisalo comes with a save on Forsberg, and at the 19:50 mark of the first period, one more save for UC Saros, this time on Tkachuk. Little scrum afterwards, but nothing really comes of it. We hit the end of the second period. The Ottawa Senators, 25 shots on goal. In the first period, they had 14. Now they have 25 for the game. The Nashville Predators are at 17. we go to the third period in a 3-1 hockey game in favor of the home team. And at 1:32 of the third period, we found our first shot on goal, and it's Korpisalo coming with a save on Gus Nyquist at the 1:51 mark of the third period. It's Korpisalo coming up with a save on Luke Schenn. Nashville Predators continue going to work as at 3:19. Korpisalo comes with a save on Nyquist at the 4:37 mark of the third period. It's Korpisalo coming up with a save on the captain, Roman Josi. The rebound made it through Korpisalo, but it trickled right to the post. And with the amount of bodies the D was able to get in and help support, nobody could jam the puck into the net, so Korpisalo does just enough to survive this situation. Josi just missing the hat trick by a mere matter of millimeters. 6:28 of the third period, Korpisalo comes up with a save on Cole Smith at the 7:08 mark of the third period. It's Giroux off the box, 2 minutes for high sticking on Tommy Novak. Tommy Novak's done a really good job the last few games getting in the hard areas and earning a lot of good physical plays for his team. Korpisalo comes with a save on Ryan McDonough. Then Korpisalo comes up with a save on Sissons. The Nashville Predators possessed the puck the entire 2 minutes. They weren't able to generate a lot of shots on goal, but the puck possession was able to wear down the defense to the point where on the continuation after the full 2 minutes of the power play, the Nashville Predators are able to change player by player, and they're able to maintain possession of the puck. 9:39, that's where we find Korpisalo then coming up with a save on Yakov Trenin, and then 10:16 of the third period, we find Korpisalo coming up with a save on Roman Josi. We would finally get a stoppage, and the Ottawa Senators are absolutely on the ropes at the midway point here of the third period. Not a shot on goal yet for Ottawa in this period. 12:47 of the third period, it's Korpisalo coming up with a save on Sherwood. And at the 13:12 mark of the third, it's Gus Nyquist. His 16th goal of the season as he kicks the rebound to his stick, moves it around, and then fires it into the net. Forsberg took the original shot, and then it was Nyquist tucking it around Korpisalo and into the empty net. 4-1 lead now in favor of the Nashville Predators. And for Gus Nyquist, what a weird feeling. There was a goaltender in the net, but it was still kind of an empty net goal for him once he made the razzle-dazzle kick to his stick in front of the net. 14:14 of the third period. Korpisalo coming with a save on Luke Evangelista at 18:13 of the third period. It's Korpisalo coming up with a save on Carrier, plus the rebound jam by Dante Fabro, plus the rebound jam by Cole Smith. Honestly, a really impressive save sequence here by Jonas Korpisalo, and good job by him maintaining his focus and staying in the game at this late point in the game. The Ottawa Senators don't pull their goalie. They also don't get a shot on net in the entirety of the third period. The Nashville Predators close this game out with a 4-1 victory in what looked like at moments it could be the dreaded trap game, and the Nashville Predators, after coming out and barnstorming the Sens in the first several minutes of the game, just sank back, but then finally got their legs back under them and then took over, and one of the most dominant periods that we've seen on home ice for sure this entire season, if not in franchise history. I don't know, and I'll go back and look at it. I don't know how many times in history the Predators have given up 0 shots on goal in a period. So Nashville wins the game 4-1, and the Predators outshoot the Ottawa Senators 37-25. That's the other caveat about the shots on goal. The Preds had 17 shots on goal after 2 total periods. They finished the game with 37, so they had 20 shots on goal in the third period alone, and they just wore the Ottawa Senators down and ground them into dust and put the game away like a good professional hockey team. 6 in a row for this Nashville Predators team. We've got so much more coming up to talk about, analysis, box score, and so much more right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in, UC Saros, to get the analysis started. 24 out of 25, incredibly strong in the second period. Didn't have to do very much to start the game. Had to do more work as the first period went along, and in the second period had to be very strong, especially the early parts of the period. But the third period, is that the easiest period that a goaltender has ever faced? 0 shots on goal, 0 shots faced in the entirety of a period. It was a close game going into the third period. The Nashville Predators dominant in the third, just absolutely put this thing away. And UC Saros, again, strong when he needed to be. The only goal given up was to Batherson, and that was one heck of a shot with some really good traffic around the net and a good accurate shot as well. So UC Saros gives up 1 in this game, making 24 saves overall. The captain, Roman Josi, is a special hockey player. He is the best skater in franchise history. He leads in points, and last night he extended that. 3 points last night, 2 goals, 1 assist, an everything game is what I like to call that one. He takes the big, heavy shot from out high. He carries the puck and drives to the net hard, scores on both of those, also picks up an assist. Also, what else did he get done in this game? Let me see. 4 shots on goal, 21-54 total time on ice. Didn't lead the team for one of the rare times. Also, throw 2 takeaways on that as well for the captain, Roman Josi. But it was an everything game, and he led his squad. They were a little bit flat in the middle point of this game, a little bit of a hammock game, high post at the beginning of the game, then a little bit of a sag there towards the end of the first and into the second, and then the third period, that tent pole was just stacked high and massive. The Predators were just as dominant as could possibly be. Roman Josi, though, led his team throughout this entire game, and he was an impact player at every moment, only a matter of an inch, not even an inch away from having the hat trick, and that would have been a pretty fun and special moment at Bridgestone Arena. Nyquist picks up a goal and 2 assists, 3 points in this game. Strong performance in every way. The hockey player you didn't know you were going to fall in love with when the Nashville Predators signed him. You might have even threw your arms up and said, why would the Predators sign Gus Nyquist? Well, now Gus Nyquist is proving those particular conversations and commentators wrong. Nyquist now at 16 goals, 33 assists, 49 points. He's got an opportunity to reach a career high in assists and points. His goals, he's not going to reach 28 goals on the season, which is his current career high. But Nyquist at 49 points. I do not think any pundit out there had Gus Nyquist penned in for over 50 points this season and playing a pivotal role on the top line with O'Reilly and Forsberg for, a good, solid chunk of the season. Now, not the first couple of games of the season, but once they got together, they've been together ever since. So Nyquist, the player you didn't know you were going to fall in love with this season, with 3 points in this game, now up to 49, tied for third on the team in scoring. Philip Forsberg also picks up an assist. He is the first Predator to reach 60 points this season. That means a point per game pace is continuing. 60 points in 60 games. Also had 6 shots on goal, 3 block shots, 4 hits, and 16:55 of total time on ice. If Roman Josi had an everything game, then Philip Forsberg had an everything game with a little bit of extra on the side. Wish he could have squeezed through one of the goals. He was working incredibly hard to try to pick up that 29th goal of the season, but he does pick up his 60th point of the season. And again, he was a threat out there on the ice, and he was physical. He was strong when he was laying hits. They were noticeable throughout the game. Michael McCarron, I'll take this performance from him anytime. 1 goal, 1 fight in this game, and in total, Michael McCarron only went 12-29 in total time on ice, also delivered a body check beyond the hit. I'll take that performance from your fourth line starting center anytime. McCarron has been great out there on the rink, bringing the jam again, getting to a loose puck in a high danger area, firing on the net, putting it in. Got some good help, some good traffic in front, but for Michael McCarron, another excellent performance, and he is putting up a really nice season in total when you take all of the different aspects of the game and put them together. He's turning out to be a really valuable asset to Andrew Burnett and this Nashville Predators team, and he's the type of player that becomes more valuable, more important as the games get tighter, as the games get tougher, as the games get more physical. Michael McCarron, I think, is going to fit in just fine down the final 20-plus games of the season in the playoff stretch and the playoff run. That third period right there, no shots on goal. The Predators did what they needed to do. The Ottawa Senators were coming in after playing the Washington Capitals the night before. They had to travel. The first period, the Sens got their legs under them after about the first 7-8 minutes. And the rest of the first period, the Ottawa Senators looked fine. The beginning of the second period, and maybe all the way through the midway point of the second period, the Ottawa Senators were just looking tremendous. It looked like, and you thought it too, looked like the Predators might have stepped into that trap after getting up 2-0. They were up 3-0 against the Ottawa Senators the previous time they played, ended up losing that game in overtime, up 2-0, and then giving up that goal. It looked like they might have stepped in that trap one more time, but the Nashville Predators were able to get their energy back, or maybe it was a matter of letting the Ottawa Senators wear themselves down and tire themselves out. Maybe it was just a little bit of rope-a-dope by the Nashville Predators, because the third period performance by the Nashville Predators was one of the more incredible ones that we've seen in Bridgestone Arena history. That's what it looks like to defend Fort Bridgestone. 0 shots given up again by the Nashville Predators to the Ottawa Senators in the third period. It's simply incredible. It's something you're not going to see very often from any team, anywhere, at any time. It's actually pretty easy to get a shot on goal. I was actually kind of surprised with about, 5-6 seconds left. Ottawa was holding the puck behind their own net. I was surprised they didn't just throw it the length of the ice to try to get one on net, but they probably had no idea that they didn't even generate a single shot on goal. They were probably just ready to get out of Bridgestone Arena after what the Preds did to them in the third period. The Preds just had their way and imposed their will, and whatever phrase, cliche you want to use in that situation, the Preds were just as dominant as could possibly be in the third period of this game. That's going to do it for the analysis portion of things. We still got to go through the box score, then we'll close this thing out after we hear from our good friends at Stripe Digital Solutions.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in. Time for the good cold hard numbers known as the box score. Your goal scorers for the Nashville Predators. Roman Josi led the way with 2 goals. Nyquist had 1. McCarron had 1. When it comes to the assist, it was Nyquist with 2. Other forwards with assists were Philip Forsberg and also Tommy Novak. Ryan O'Reilly picks up an assist. Cole Smith also picks up an assist. At one point in the game was awarded the Michael McCarron goal, but they flipped that back and forth a couple of times. Finally got it figured out that it was Michael McCarron, with Smith picking up an assist on that one. Josi picks up an assist. McDonough also picks up an assist. In the shots on goal category, Philip Forsberg led the way. I told you he was dominant and influential throughout the entire game. 6 shots on goal, 4 shots on goal for Luke Evangelista, and then 4 shots on goal for the captain, Roman Josi. 3 for Shen, 3 for Sherwood. When it comes to the block shots category, Philip Forsberg got 3. Not part of Philip Forsberg's game on a night-in, night-out basis, but on this particular night, Philip Forsberg led the team with block shots and 3. Also came in second on the team in hits with 4. Sherwood led the team with 5. Highly unusual to see Luzon only with 2. What is that? That number's tiny. Luzon must not have been feeling 100% last night, but Forsberg with 4 hits in this game. Time on ice leaders for this Nashville Predators team. Good job rolling all 4 lines, especially once you got into that third period and the Ottawa Senators were just pinned in their own zone. Preds were able to make shifts on the fly, keep the pressure going, not lose possession of the puck. It was really quite tremendous to be able to observe. 17:46 time on ice for Ryan O'Reilly, leads all of the forwards. 16:55 for Philip Forsberg, 16:47 for Gus Nyquist. On the defensive side of things, Ryan McDonough led in total time on ice for the Nashville Predators in this game. 22-12. Josi just behind that at 21:54. Carrier, the only other defenseman over 20 at 20:28. When it comes to the special teams numbers, time on ice, and the special teams power play, the Nashville Predators went 1 for 3, 2:49 time on ice for Philip Forsberg, 3:02 for Tommy Novak, 3:35 for Gus Nyquist, 3:03 for the captain, Roman Josi. The penalty kill for the Nashville Predators was 1 out of 2, 50% in this game. The penalty kill time on ice leaders, 153 for Cole Smith, 132 for Yakov Trenin. On the defensive side of things, 236 for Luzon and also McDonough. Some other numbers falling out of the box score right here. It is the face-off winning percentage for the Nashville Predators was at 56.3 in this game. Obviously, that ticked up as the third period went along, as the Ottawa Senators were just clearly worn out in this game. 15 block shots, nice, good number right there. 18 hits. Philip Forsberg with 4 of them. Pretty incredible right there. 18 takeaways and 10 giveaways. UC Saros 24 out of 25 in this game. 23 even strength saves. 1 power play save. Gave up 1 goal against an in-game save percentage of 960. And again, great job by UC Saros in this game. You don't expect your goaltender to be perfect. You just expect him to be good, solid, professional. That's everything UC Saros was in this game, only giving up 1 against, and it was on the power play. That's going to do it for the good, cold, hard numbers known as the box score. As a matter of fact, that's going to do it for operation number 878. Wow, it felt so good to be back in Nashville, to have everybody back in Nashville, to have all of the great coverage that happens when everyone's back in Nashville. It's been a really enjoyable couple of days. Look forward to the rest of this homestand. Look forward to getting back out to Bridgestone Arena. Look forward to being all around the people again. It's weird when the team's gone for 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever it is on these long road trips. Things just get kind of boring and kind of quiet around Nashville itself. So for the Nashville Predators, they're back. They avoided the trap game. It looked like they might have stepped into it after coming out looking like the most dominant Predators team we had ever seen for the first 6 minutes of the game. They just slacked back and then almost stepped in that trap, but they didn't blow it, and they came through dominant in the third period and took over this game. They almost stepped in that trap. I'm glad they avoided it. A 6-game road trip for this team is 6-game winning streak for this team is a very, very good thing. It has bumped them way up in the standings. They're tied with the LA Kings. And to be honest with you, and while again, it's not realistic that the Predators are going to crack the 3-team weave to get into the top race of the division in automatic qualifying spot, they're only 9 points behind the Colorado Avalanche right now with a head-to-head game coming up against the Avs on Saturday at Bridgestone Arena. That could make a significant difference. That could actually start to put some pressure on the Colorado Avalanche. If one of the 3 teams in the 3-team weave falters, well, the Predators are not far behind, 4.5 games behind by wins, and 9 points. They are right there and could potentially pounce if an opportunity was to open up. Trade deadline, may be some changes coming. We'll see what the Nashville Predators are going to do. We'll be here in the bunker, and we'll be covering it all, as we always do. Can't wait to get to the next game. It's going to be the Minnesota Wild here at Bridgestone Arena, and we'll be back in the bunker after that for operation number 879. Show number 878, it is in the books. It's cooked. It's done. It's ready to serve. Let's go ahead. Consume. Thank you. Please, I hope you enjoy the meal. Hope you enjoy the show. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I always appreciate you guys taking the time, and say it this way. I appreciate your viewership and listenership. I appreciate your time, and the most important thing of all is I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. Sit caps, love, and respect.